We cannot change what we are not aware of, and once we are aware, we cannot help but change. The best way to make room for both life and career is to make choices deliberately, to set limits and stick to them. So please ask yourself, what would I do if I weren't afraid? And then go do it. Leadership is about making others better as a result of your presence and making sure that impact lasts in your absence. Your life's course will not be determined by doing the things that you are certain you can do. Those are the easy things. It will be determined by whether you try the things that are hard. If you're offered a seat on a rocket ship, don't ask what seat. Just get on. Speak up. Believe in yourself. Take risks. We can each define ambition and progress for ourselves. The goal is to work toward a world where expectations are not set by the stereotypes that hold us back, but by our personal passion, talents, and interests. I feel really grateful to the people who encouraged me and helped me develop. Nobody can succeed on their own. Done is better than perfect. Guilt management can be just as important as time management for mothers. Build your skills, not your resume. I know from my own experience that the path to change is best traveled when we travel together. Being confident and believing in your own self-worth is necessary to achieving your potential. Motivation comes from working on things we care about. It also comes from working with people we care about. Fortune does favor the bold, and you'll never know what you're capable of if you don't try. When you're more valuable, the people around you will do more to make it work. Two things that I think matter are gratitude and joy. Next time you're about to call your daughter bossy, take a deep breath and say, "My daughter has executive leadership skills." When looking for a life partner, my advice to women is date all of them: the bad boys, the cool boys, the commitment-phobic boys, the crazy boys. But do not marry them. The things that make the bad boys sexy do not make them good husbands. When it comes time to settle down, find someone who wants an equal partner. Someone who thinks women should be smart, opinionated, and ambitious. Someone who values fairness and expects, or, even better, wants to do his share in the home. These men exist, and, trust me, over time, nothing is sexier. When you want to change things, you won't please everyone. Believe in yourself and negotiate for yourself. Own your own success. In the future, there will be no female leaders. There will just be leaders. What I tell everyone, and I really do for myself, is, I have a long-run dream, which is I want to work on stuff that I think matters. Aiming for perfection causes frustration at best and paralysis at worst. Leadership is not bullying, and leadership is not aggression. Leadership is the expectation that you can use your voice for good. That you can make the world a better place. Real empathy is sometimes not insisting that it will be okay, but acknowledging that it is not. When I went to college, as much as my parents emphasized academic achievement, they emphasized marriage even more. They told me that the most eligible women marry young to get a good man before they are all taken. When companies offer support and assistance for personal and family hardships, their employees become more loyal and more productive. Talking can transform minds, which can transform behaviors, which can transform institutions. Communication starts with the understanding that there is my point of view and someone else's point of view. Rarely is there one absolute truth, so people who believe that they speak the truth are very silencing of others. I'm a feminist because I believe in women. It's a heavy word, feminism, but it's not one I think we should run from. I'm proud to be a feminist. No industry or country can reach its full potential until women reach their full potential. Trying to do it all and expecting that it all can be done exactly right is a recipe for disappointment. Perfection is the enemy. We need women at all levels, including the top, to change the dynamic, reshape the conversation, to make sure women's voices are heard and heeded, not overlooked and ignored. I hope you find true meaning, contentment, and passion in your life. I hope you navigate the difficult times and come out with greater strength and resolve. I hope you find whatever balance you seek with your eyes wide open. And I hope that you have the ambition to lean into your career and run the world. Because the world needs you to change it. Fear is at the root of so many of the barriers that women face. fear of not being liked, fear of making the wrong choice, fear of drawing negative attention, fear of overreaching, fear of being judged, fear of failure, and the holy trinity of fear, the fear of being a bad mother, wife, daughter. It is the ultimate luxury to combine passion and contribution. It's also a very clear path to happiness. If you do please everyone, you are not making enough progress. Leaders should strive for authenticity over perfection. But the upside of painful knowledge is so much greater than the downside of blissful ignorance. Presenting leadership as a list of carefully defined qualities no longer holds. Instead, true leadership stems from individuality that is honestly and sometimes imperfectly expressed. Leaders should strive for authenticity over perfection. The cost of stability is often diminished opportunities for growth. If more women are in leadership roles, we'll stop assuming they shouldn't be. I really think we need more women to lean into their careers and to be really dedicated to staying in the workforce. A truly equal world would be one where women ran half our countries and companies and men ran half our homes. Don't let your fears overwhelm your desire. Let the barriers you face, and there will be barriers, be external, not internal. Fortune does favor the bold, and I promise that you will never know what you're capable of unless you try. Feeling confident or pretending that you feel confident is necessary to reach for opportunities. It's a cliche, but opportunities are rarely offered, they're seized. The time is long overdue to encourage more women to dream the possible dream. I go around the room and ask people, what do you think? There is no perfect fit when you're looking for the next big thing to do. You have to take opportunities and make an opportunity fit for you, rather than the other way around. The ability to learn is the most important quality a leader can have. I tell people in their careers, look for growth. Look for the teams that are growing quickly. Look for the companies that are doing well. Look for a place where you feel that you can have a lot of impact. Don't make decisions too far in advance, particularly ones you're not even conscious you're making. Most people assume that women are responsible for households and childcare. Most couples operate that way, not all. That fundamental assumption holds women back. Everyone needs to get more comfortable with female leaders, including female leaders themselves. Endless data show that diverse teams make better decisions. We are building products that people with very diverse backgrounds use, and I think we all want our company makeup to reflect the makeup of the people who use our products. That's not true of any industry really, and we have a long way to go. We hold ourselves back in ways both big and small, by lacking self-confidence, by not raising our hands, and by pulling back when we should be leaning in. It's hard to visualize someone as a leader if she is always waiting to be told what to do. I would love to meet J.K. Rowling and tell her how much I admire her writing and am amazed by her imagination. I read every Harry Potter book as it came out and looked forward to each new one. I am rereading them now with my kids and enjoying them every bit as much. She made me look at jelly beans in a whole new way. Real change will come when powerful women are less of an exception. It is easy to dislike senior women because there are so few. When people are really suffering, and we know they're suffering, that question can be a very difficult one. Inadvertently, I think without anyone meaning it, it communicates a lack of empathy. Women systematically underestimate their own abilities. The gender stereotypes introduced in childhood are reinforced throughout our lives and become self-fulfilling prophecies. Most leadership positions are held by men, so women don't expect to achieve them, and that becomes one of the reasons they don't. I have a 5-year-old son and a 3-year-old daughter. I want my son to have a choice to contribute fully in the workforce or at home. And I want my daughter to have the choice to not just succeed, but to be liked for her accomplishments. You know, there has never been a 24-hour period in 5 years when I have not responded to email at Facebook. I am not saying it's easy. I work long hours. I wish I could just go tell all the young women I work with, all these fabulous women, believe in yourself and negotiate for yourself. Own your own success. I wish I could tell that to my daughter. But it's not that simple. No industry or country can reach its full potential until women reach their full potential. This is especially true of science and technology, where women with a surplus of talent still face a deficit of opportunity. You need to feel that you're making a difference. When women work outside the home and share breadwinning duties, couples are more likely to stay together. In fact, the risk of divorce reduces by about half when a wife earns half the income and a husband does half the housework. And anyway, who wears a tiara on a jungle gym? It's time to cheer on girls and women who want to sit at the table when it comes time to settle down. Find someone who wants an equal partner. Someone who thinks women should be smart, opinionated, and ambitious. The number one impediment to women succeeding in the workforce is now in the home. Framing the issue of work-life balance as if the two were dramatically opposed practically ensures work will lose out. Who would ever choose work over life? Women need to shift from thinking, "I'm not ready to do that," to thinking, "I want to do that and I'll learn by doing it." Everyone knows that marriage is the biggest personal decision you make, but it's the biggest career decision you can make. The most important career decision you'll make is who your life partner is. Women attribute their success to working hard, luck, and help from other people. Men will attribute that whatever success they have, that same success, to their own core skills. I realize that searching for a mentor has become the professional equivalent of waiting for Prince Charming. We all grew up on the fairy tale Sleeping Beauty, which instructs young women that if they just wait for their prince to arrive, they will be kissed and whisked away on a white horse to live happily ever after. Now young women are told that if they can just find the right mentor, they will be pushed up the ladder and whisked away to the corner office to live happily ever after. Once again, we are teaching women to be too dependent on others. Our culture needs to find a robust image of female success that is first, not male, and second, not a white woman on the phone, holding a crying baby. If you ask men why they did a good job, they'll say, "I'm awesome." Obviously. Why are you even asking? If you ask women why they did a good job, what they'll say is someone helped them, they got lucky, they worked really hard. Give us a world where half our homes are run by men and half our institutions are run by women. I'm pretty sure that would be a better world. I would be better at my job if I were technical. When I was in high school, I was voted most likely to succeed. I want women to get paid more. I want to teach them to negotiate so they get paid more. I want to tell any young girl out there who's a geek, I was a really serious geek in high school. It works out. Study harder. We've got to get women to sit at the table. Excel and you will get a mentor. Parents who work outside the home are still capable of giving their children a loving and secure childhood. Some data even suggest that having two parents working outside the home can be advantageous to a child's development, particularly for girls. If I had to embrace a definition of success, it would be that success is making the best choices we can and accepting them. Until women are as ambitious as men, they're not going to achieve as much as men. But I really believe that when you give people authentic identity, which is what Facebook does, and you can be your real self and connect with real people online, things will change. At Facebook, we try to be a strengths-based organization, which means we try to make jobs fit around people rather than make people fit around jobs. We focus on what people's natural strengths are and spend our management time trying to find ways for them to use those strengths every day. I believe we need affordable childcare. I believe we need flexibility. I believe we need institutional reform and public policy reform. We know when we use the full talents of our population, we're more productive. And we know that when people really feel like they can have flexible lives, they're better employees. We need to start talking about child rearing in the workplace. Nobody can succeed on their own. I've seen over and over how much self-belief drives outcomes. And that's why I force myself to sit at the table, even when I am not sure I belong there, and yes, this still happens to me. And when I'm not sure anyone wants my opinion, I take a deep breath and speak up anyway. Every job will demand some sacrifice. The key is to avoid unnecessary sacrifice. Aggressive and hard-charging women violate unwritten rules about acceptable social conduct. Men are continually applauded for being ambitious and powerful and successful, but women who display these same traits often pay a social penalty. Female accomplishments come at a cost. Someone who values fairness and expects, or, even better, wants to do his share in the home. These men exist, and, trust me, over time, nothing is sexier. We need to stop telling, get a mentor and you will excel. Instead, we need to tell them, excel and you will get a mentor. I'm not telling women to be like men. I'm telling us to evaluate what men and women do in the workforce and at home without the gender bias. And in situations where a man and a woman each receive negative feedback, the woman's self-confidence and self-esteem drop to a much greater degree. The internalization of failure and the insecurity it breeds hurt future performance, so this pattern has serious long-term consequences. People think that women don't negotiate because they're not good negotiators, but that's not it. Women don't negotiate because it doesn't work as well for them. Women have to say, I really add a lot of value, and it's in your interest to pay me more. I hate that advice, but I want to see women get ahead. There are really good reasons to leave the workforce or work less or take a different job when you want to be with your children. I just want women and men to make that choice once they have the child. Not years in advance, because they don't get the right opportunities. They give up before they even start. Bring your whole self to work. I don't believe we have a professional self Monday through Friday and a real self the rest of the time. It is all professional and it is all personal. It's more pressure on women to, if they marry or partner with someone, to partner with the right person. Because you cannot have a full career and a full life at home with your children if you are also doing all of the housework and childcare. Women have made tons of progress. But we still have a small percentage of the top jobs in any industry and any nation in the world. I think that's partly because from a very young age, we encourage our boys to lead and we call our girls bossy. I don't pretend there aren't biological differences, but I don't believe the desire for leadership is hardwired biology, not the desire to win or excel. I believe that it's socialization, that we're socializing our daughters to nurture and our boys to lead. I have never worked for a woman, and I have never worked with a lot of women. When looking for a life partner, my advice to women is date all of them, the bad boys, the cool boys, the commitment-phobic boys, the crazy boys. But do not marry them. The things that make the bad boys sexy do not make them good husbands. We're focused on doing one thing incredibly well. If you look at other companies, all of these companies are doing a lot of different things, but we're still, as we grow, doing exactly one thing. So there's no such thing as work-life balance. There's work, and there's life, and there's no balance. Success and likability are positively correlated for men and negatively for women. When a man is successful, he is liked by both men and women. When a woman is successful, people of both genders like her less. Social gains are never handed out. They must be seized. I'm not writing about things other women do. I'm writing for other women to have more self-confidence because I need it myself. And if more women were in power, I would feel more comfortable. It's pretty exciting to take real people living in the real world, their opinions, and have people have to react to that. As opposed to their perceptions of what people are thinking, which are often very different. The most important thing we're doing differently is that we talk openly about gender at Facebook. Both men and women react negatively when women negotiate on their own behalf. A man can just negotiate, I have a better offer. That's not enough to make my family's ends meet. No one feels bad about it. But when a woman does that, there's a backlash. It's easy to dislike the few senior women out there. What if women were half the positions in power? It would be harder to dislike all of them. We know that the only way to achieve equality is if both men and women want to achieve equality. We also know that equality is not just the right thing to do for men, it is a good thing to do. The most important thing is to have a more open and honest dialogue about gender issues. As a country and as a world, we are not comfortable with women in leadership roles. We call little girls bossy.